Hi, Phyllis, Master Gardener here to help you master your garden. In this video, I'm going to show you how to recycle newspaper in order to make biodegradable seed starter pots. This method is super easy and doesn't require any tape or glue. So let's begin. I have here two commercially available paper pot makers, but you don't have to go out and buy anything special. You can also use common household items such as a jar like this or a small can. So I'm going to show you how to make it both ways, both with a pot maker and with a jar. For this particular, we'll use this particular pot maker, and for this particular pot maker, it requires a 10-inch by 4-inch piece of newspaper. I have one here. And what you do is you take the newspaper and wrap it around the form, wrap it around the barrel. Not too tight because you're going to want to slip it out, but you wrap it around, and where the two pieces meet, just fold that in and fold it under, and then you push it into the base in order to crimp it, and then it just slides out. And this is your form. Now, using a jar, you have to measure out, based on the size of your jar, how large a piece of paper you want. But what you want to do is measure out a piece of paper that wraps around about 1.5 times. You don't want to wrap it around too many times and have the paper too thick, because then it won't decompose fast enough. So you want it just enough, 1.5 times is fine. And then you want to have it deep enough so that you can fold it under, but again, not too thick. And you just fold it like that, and then push it down, pull it up, and by hand, just crimp the bottom. Just like that. And then once you put the potting mix in, it'll hold its form better. And I'll show you on this one. So I have here seed starting potting mix, but you can use any kind of potting mix. Just don't use garden soil, because garden soil is too heavy and thick, and when you water it, it's going to suffocate your plant. It's just too thick. This is a lighter, thinner mix. So we're just gonna fill this up, and I generally fill it up close to the top. Again, this has been pre-moistened, so it's a little bit easier to work with, and also that gives it a little bit of a start on your seeds. So just give it a little bit more, go up almost, like I said, almost to the top, and then you can just tap it down lightly like that. Now it's ready for the seed. And what I have here is just a saucer to put underneath it, so that when you water it, you don't get water all over the place. Okay, so as far as the seed goes, I have two different examples of seeds here. I have beans that are large seeds, and I have basil, and these are small seeds. And the general rule is that the smaller the seed, the more shallow you plant it. The larger the seed, the more deeply you plant it. So for example, these beans, if you look in the back here, it says they get planted 1 inch deep. And always read the seed packs for useful information, such as the seed depth and how long it takes to sprout, and other useful information that's on the pack. Like for example, with the basil, this can also be planted in containers. This one can be planted in a 12-inch container, which means that you can even plant this inside on a sunny windowsill. But this seed, if you look, because it's smaller, this gets planted 1/4 inch deep. So we're gonna work with, I'm gonna show you how to plant the basil seeds because the smaller seeds are more difficult to plant. So what you do, and I like to plant 3 seeds and then thin them out once they start sprouting. So equally space them, put them in. And then because these seeds get planted shallow, I'm just going to take some potting mix and sprinkle it on the top. Just a little bit sprinkled on the top, and then tap it down. And then take my watering can and just give it a little bit of water on the top. Just lightly water it. And that's all there is to it. Then I'm going to take this, set it aside in a warm, sunny window, a warm, sunny location, and within 7 to 10 days, this should start sprouting. What I have here is an example of one that I started a couple of weeks ago. Now this one is ready to get transplanted. If you notice on the bottom, I don't know if you can tell, but there are roots that are starting to come through. And this one, I can either plant this directly into the ground or into a larger pot, but the beauty part of it is that I don't have to disturb the roots. I can just plant it like this and the paper will just decompose. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel for future gardening tips. Thank you.